welcome to episode 1
Número uno.
of the Migas podcast. I'm Nora,
Cindy here.
and we are going to be chatting about losing yourself in motherhood.
We
figured,
Sugar honey iced tea.
Yeah, seriously.
Talk to me.
We figured this would be a great starting point for our podcast to learn a little bit about us and, just how we have been feeling in motherhood and who we were before this.
I agree, because Nora, now you are a mom of
3.
Tres. I'm like,
3.
learn Spanish
Right?
while you
Learn
listen.
Spanish.
Or relearn it.
I'm Nora. I am 36 years young, guys.
Yes.
Years young.
It's a privilege.
It's a privilege,
It's
right?
a privilege.
And I have 3 beautiful babies. Oliver, who is 5, Elena, who is going to be 4 in October, and I just had my last baby, Xiomara, and she is 1 month.
And super freaking cute.
Thank you.
Oh, the baby yum yums.
And Cindy, go ahead.
Cindy, I am 34 years old, just turned 34, so that's why I'm remembering my age. I am a mother to a baby boy named Caleb, who still going by the months. He just turned 21 months on the 15th, also an October baby like Alina. And
He's so delicious and so cute. I love him so much. He's my 4th child.
Yes, he is. And so thankful for people like Nora in my life and everyone else who loves my son. Like, yeah, let me not start. Yeah, I think that's so important, and I learned that even more after becoming a mom, because I've had a lot of friends my age have kids, like, years ago or, like, before me, and it was always, I guess I didn't really understand, but obviously always loved their kids as if they were mine. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with my nieces, especially my first niece, Giselle, who is now 11, soon to be 12, because I say soon because even though her birthday's in January, but January is next month for me.
Yes, 6 months. We're already 6 months into the new year.
So yeah, because of her, I've learned a lot, and that's definitely prepared me for this motherhood, and still lost in it. And you see, there's some laughter in the background, because sometimes while you're losing your shit, you got to laugh through it as well.
Laugh through it. Yep. So let's start with just talking about who we were, or if we remember who we were prior to having these little blessings that drive us crazy. But please go first, my girl.
So me, Cindy, I am a Army veteran, combat veteran.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, that's easy for me to say because I never knew in the past how to respond to that. I always say, thank you, or you're welcome, thank you too. I don't freaking know. But now I proudly say, you're welcome. Served for, how long? I did 11 years. So that was a huge part. Yeah, that was a huge part of my early adulthood. And then from there, took advantage and got my college degree in finance. Then as soon as I graduated college, I was able to find a job in the career that I was preferring, and that is human resources. But at the time, my college that I attended did not offer a degree in human resources. So that's why I was like, let me do finance. I didn't want to do something so general as business administration, because, and honestly, I was like, finance, because everyone should know about finance. Hopefully that's something we could talk about on here as well.
Yeah.
And navigating all of that. And it's the importance of it, even as a woman, knowing, and not even so much about having your own finances, just even knowing if you are managing your household's finance, how to do so, or what are the bills that need to be paid, talking about maybe the modern woman.
Yeah, because your house is literally a little business.
Absolutely,
it's a
yeah.
business.
You are the CEO of that shit.
CEO of your house, girl.
So then did that got super fortunate, or I would just say just the stars aligned, and a huge believer in manifesting. And I remember I was applying like crazy before I graduated. I was like, I need to get a job, and my dream was always to work in the city. And again, focusing on getting that degree. I mean, not the degree, the career in HR. And lo and behold, like I manifested, prayed, literally exactly what I needed. And the next day, I get a text from a friend that I haven't spoken to in a while. And literally, sometimes when you get those text messages, it's like, oh shit, who died?
Yeah.
That's just where my freaking brain goes. And he was just like, hey, saw that you recently graduated. Again, this is why it's so important to constantly stay active on social media posting, because of that, I honestly got my freaking first job, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Social media, the power of social media.
Sharing your
seriously, your life, what's going
too,
on,
like,
everything. And that opened the door to that opportunity. Texted me, literally got the job immediately. So I think I had graduated. I think it wasn't even like a week or so that I had graduated and already had something lined up, which, again, very fortunate to have that. And again, landed in something that I wanted to do. So did that for a few years, then moved on to a higher position in HR. Then that was during the pandemic, which was a huge shift for everyone. And the pandemic hit March 2020, and I was exactly 8 weeks pregnant. So I was super thankful to be able to work from home, because my commute at that time was like at least an hour minimum in the mornings and almost 2 hours to get back home.
Yeah.
And I would always say, oh my God, the day that I'm pregnant, because we did, sit there and say, okay, we're going to try to get pregnant around this time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, shoot, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Pregnant as fuck, trying, driving, what if I feel sick? My brain was just, again, going into like planning mode and like thinking ahead. But again, lo and behold, thank God for the pandemic, I was able to safely work from home, from the comfort of my home, and throughout my entire pregnancy. And through all of that, again, becoming a mom during the pandemic, first-time mom, was definitely rough. Had a lot of, I guess, like privileges in a sense taken away. One of the main things was going to ultrasounds by myself.
Yeah.
And that was, interesting, and thank God for technology, because I was able to record a lot of the ultrasounds. Obviously, I got the pictures printed, and Calvin was always outside waiting for me. But it was just annoying, because it's like, hey, eventually he's going to be in the room with me, or going to be carrying the same baby, even if he couldn't be in the room with me as I was giving birth. Whatever. But that's a whole other topic of the funkiness of pandemic.
Yeah, it's very isolating.
So then, again, thankful for my online, I guess, community that I already have, and along with my friends that virtually was still able to not feel alone in motherhood starting off, but at the same time, it was rough. Mm-hmm. And again, we'll go into more of that, but I remember, and this going straight with this topic, losing yourself in freaking motherhood. Caleb was 3 months old, and I'm there changing his diaper. Kind of, it feels like Groundhog Day, doing the same shit every single day. Cleaning bottles, changing diapers, washing everything. Yeah, dealing with the newborn shit, literally vomit, everything. And I'm there changing his diaper, and I'm like, oh my God, is this the rest of my life? And literally, I like caught myself from going into like crying and going into this rabbit hole, and then I was like, no, Cindy, you have a pretty strong, solid resume. You could do anything you want after, you feel like you're ready to go back into the workforce. Very fortunate to be a stay-at-home mom right now. So shout out to my husband, Calvin, for that. And also because of my veteran benefits, also have my own, income with that. So that helps. But yeah, definitely, I still, in a sense, feel lost, and there's been many times that I've cried to many friends. It's just like, I feel like I don't have a purpose. Like, what the hell is my purpose? Like, is this, I never even envisioned myself, honestly, married. Never really envisioned myself, like, oh, like, wedding day. This is what my wedding's gonna look like. This is what things just kind of happened, and even the same thing with having a child. I guess, maybe look for the past freaking, okay, now Caleb is going to be 2. So before that, before Caleb, BK, like I like to say, before Caleb, BK, like 3 years, I was just like, okay, like, really into baby stuff and researching and doing all of that. But again, not having zero fucking clue of when you actually have that baby in your hands. It's like,
you can have every product in the world. It's like,
mentally, how can you help me? Help me. So yeah, so again, still to this day, I'm like, what is my purpose? I'm still figuring it out, and hopefully through this podcast we can
tap into that.
Tap into it, figure things out, and I don't think I'll ever have it truly, honestly, figured out. And I'm learning to tell myself that's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's life.
It is. It's fucking scary to be honest, because sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I'm a mom.
Yeah. I'm someone's mom.
I'm like, wait, hold on, what?
I have to take care of somebody.
Yeah, especially in the mornings, when you're like, oh, okay, let me go use the bathroom in peace. Yeah. And there's now I honestly, I get it, because I remember seeing all those posts, and one thing that's actually funny, I've never was a big Target person before becoming a mom. Straight up.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will see those videos of those moms, oh, I'm going to Target, oh my god, it's like they're going on vacation, and I'm like, that's a little sad. And now I fucking get it. Yeah. I absolutely get it. I'm like, this is fucking fun. It's fucking, it's like the vacation. Best thing. It's the best thing. Getting in that freaking car by yourself.
Yeah.
Even if it's just to pick up Starbucks. Like on my way here today, I'm like, the mobile pre-order thing, I was just like, ooh, and then getting this, and then walking in there, again, walking out of my car without having to get Caleb out the car, and then all this, or having to do the drive-through because I don't want to get out the car with Caleb, because I don't know what that's going to be like.
Or trying to put it back in. Is he going to want to come back into the car?
Thankfully, he's good with his car seats. I literally could count maybe a couple times in my head that he's had, like, on my hand.
I know what
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what I'm saying. But, yeah, it's like those things, I guess, that we took for granted.
Just being able to hop into the car and walk out and do whatever. And then decide, hey, I need to go run another errand. Now you're like, nah.
Yeah, you're like, the timing, well, like I say, I have a flexible schedule with Caleb, but I roughly know I'm like, all right, he's been up for like 5 hours. This kid is going to start, doing the stanky leg to my face if we don't get the F home or get him in a proper napping comfort zone. Sometimes that's his car seat, sometimes it's a stroller. I'm like, listen, buddy, you napping on the go today. We got shit to get done.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like, again, still feeling lost, but also in the midst of all that chaos. Thankfulness, gratefulness, trying to remind myself of that shit daily, because it's daily freaking work, of the support system. Whether, even if that's just being able to chat with Nora via thousands of voice texts or random reels on Instagram that kind of, I guess, to recenter me or kind of put things into perspective. Yeah. I don't know, kind of just like that little, like I always say this, kind of just sometimes what it takes is like that shift in mindset. Just like that little shift. Yeah. Could fucking go so far. Yeah. Like I told you what I was experiencing on Tuesday, literally just speaking to 2 close friends about all the stress that I was like feeling. And then, again, I don't know if it was something that they said or something that I said or whatever happened in that conversation. I was just like, okay.
It's like a weight lifted.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just, again, talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is why we're here to talk it out. Talk it out, walk it out. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I have to currently add, but I'm sure once you start talking, we can... I'm sure I'll piggyback off of some stuff, because I know you've been a mother for way longer than I have. And I know your resume is clutch. Your mother resume and your professional resume.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm Nora, and prior to becoming a mom, I mean, I'm still in the financial industry. I work for a bank, but I'm actually an admin, which I love. I love it. Like that, I should have done that from the beginning. I started in retail banking, and that was just insane because people suck. And when they come in, especially I worked for Commerce Bank, that's where I started, and that was kind of like the McDonald's of banks, because like everybody got an account, and like you could just come in and act crazy.
And it felt like McDonald's, like the logo of it.
Yeah,
remember the piggy banks?
Yeah, the C, and like okay. So as you can see, we're recording with my kids in the background. I mean, it says really. So I worked in retail banking for way longer than I should have, and then when I reached, I think it was like my 13th year in banking.
Shit! In retail?
In retail.
You did retail for 13 years?
I know, and it was just ridiculous.
Bless your heart.
I know. I've seen everything. I moved banks, worked retail there as well, but then got into commercial real estate and then worked in client services, which was worse than retail, but it's fine. And then, thank God for my girl Jimena that got me out, because I reached out to her at a networking event and I was like, what do you do? And she was like, I'm an admin. And I'm like, what is that? Like, and she just kind of told me her role. More. I was like, yes. I was like, please tell me. I was like, can I take you out for coffee? Like, do you want liquor? What do you want? Like, I just want to pick your brain, girl. And she actually ended up taking me out and telling me what she does for work, and now I'm in a different company, and just taught me everything. And when the role came up during the pandemic, way deep into the pandemic, she decided she had a role, and she was like, I want you to be in it. And then I ended up going and being an admin. But anyways, so prior to that, I was, just working my job and just kind of, I'm a big hobby person. So I have so many hobbies.
Yes.
I always want to do everything. I'm like, oh, I could party plan, or I could do this. And I always wanted to get my hands on a lot of things and always learn and constantly learn. And, I love school. So I was constantly enrolling in new programs for school. I'm like, you know what? It seems fun to get my MBA. Let's do that. And then I'm like,
again,
you know what?
Bless your heart.
And I'm like, you know what? I decided I want to get my master's in human resources, which that's also a passion of mine in HR, because I always like to help people. That's just my thing. Then I just, when becoming a mom, I had my two first kids, Oliver and Alina, back to back. So that can get very isolating, because a lot of people in my circle are not in that season. So they're not understanding we'd go out on Saturday or Saturday nights, and there's Thursdays and all those things, and it's not anymore.
No,
sorry.
thank you.
And it's not even so much I can't find someone to watch the kids, or I don't want to go. I want to be home. I want to be, I need to just be here.
You're respecting your boundaries, and that's admirable.
Yeah, and the thing is, to be honest, I'm just not in the mood to go out. Having the kids back to back, I'm tired, okay? And they're still young. They're still, 5 and 4, and now with the newborn, I'm even more tired. So, the Nora that was, constantly volunteering her time for everyone, and yeah, I can help you plan your birthday. Let me help you plan your wedding. Oh, you need to have your birthday, your kid's birthday. Yeah, I can help you. I'll decorate. I'll make the cake pops. I'll do this. Every creative outlet you could think of, I had my hands in, because it was just something that fueled me. Now I'm so what part can I take my kids that's super fun? Or oh my God, there's Kids Strong. I'm that seems so cool for my kids, and blah blah
or the
blah.
bento boxes.
I'm oh, let's do a fancy little lunch for them, or whatever. That is the season I'm in right now. So, do I feel like I lost that part, that creative part of me? I'm just channeling it now into my children, which I feel is a different version of myself, and I'm learning that version now. The one I had with Oliver when he was born, it was I'm the mom of one, and he's my world, and I'm ready to take on everything.
That's me right now.
Yeah, and
kind
it's
of.
It was, at that time, it was hard. I'm okay, do I have everything in this diaper bag that I need for him? Oh my God, I need to carry 5 binkies and 6 pacifiers and all these things, because he is literally the center of the world. I cannot, and everything, I had to take him with me. It was no, he has to be with me. No one else can take care of him how I can take care of him, and blah, blah, blah. And then I had Alina. And then just going out with one seemed so easy. Both of them was overwhelming. I'm just oh no, I can't take them both. How can I split my... Now with 3, I'm oh, these 2, that's easy. I'm these 2, I can take them out anywhere. Let's just go. And then she's just chilling, sleeping, she can stay with her dad. And I'm this is great. I have these 2. When it was unheard of me taking both of them out.
I feel that's kind of work.
Yeah.
When your first day on the job, you're like,
yes.
oh my God, I can't fucking do this.
Yeah.
And then 13 years later in retail banking, you're like, I'm an expert. Who's coming in? What do they need? I got this.
You know, at the end, it just got to the point where I was like, ugh, here comes new management with their shenanigans. Like, they would always come up with
So you already knew what to expect.
Yeah, and I'm just like, here we go again. Here's a new, like, district manager that wants to, you go and you tell me what you want me to do, and that's it. Like, and then the fact that I was just so used to it, and I'm just like, okay, what do you want me to do? They kind of made that seem like I was being, not insubordinate, but just very kind of like brushing it off. Like,
I know what I'm doing.
I already know you're gonna flip the script. Like, just tell me what you need me to do, and that's it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and kiss your ass all damn day. Like, and then after actually being a mom, and like I was still in retail when I had them both. It was just no. I lied. I had Ollie. I had already been. I was pregnant when I got the job in back office. And then I got a new role, and then I was pregnant again. I'm like, apparently every time I get a new role, I'm pregnant. You want to do that? So after having Ollie, like, I noticed that I stopped caring so much about, like, the nonsense. Like, my career was, like, a big deal for me, being prior to children. Like, I was just, like, career. Every network event I wanted to be a part of, everything I wanted to be a part of, I'm like, yes, I want to do this, because I want to be, like, top, like, in some position up there, like, it's still a dream of mine to be in HR. Yeah, absolutely. But if it comes, okay. If not, then it is okay too. I'm not gonna sit there and go crazy and kill myself. Like, am I gonna work extra? No, I'm gonna work the scope of my job. And I felt like prior to having Oliver, like, I would stay overtime. I would go to all these trainings and classes and sign up for everything, and every network event, every mixer, everything. I was like, yes, I want to be a part of it now. You're like, let's get on a Zoom. I'm like, why? and like a part of my job.
Like, can this be an email?
Yeah, like seriously, like you could have made this an email. But part of my job as an admin now, I do mixers and stuff like that, and like I get invited obviously because I'm the one, and I'm like, I do not want to go. I'm not driving to West Bubble to see people I already know, and I truly do not care about like the next level. Like, I want to do my job, and I want to do it efficiently, and I want to do it to the scope of my work. But other than that, my main job is being for my kid, like being there for my kids.
Being present. I think that's like a huge thing that maybe, I don't know, I think maybe this generation or generations right before us, but even like our parents, like I think when we constantly talk about this, they were just like work, or if the wife still had the opportunity to stay home, but then again, I feel, for instance, even like speaking from watching my mom and all the stuff that she had to give up when she became a mother, and a mother of 4, and and I'm like, well, when I become a mom, I don't want to give up too much of myself to then later in life try to be like, oh wait, who am I? Like, I'm questioning myself of who am I right now, so I can kind of track and guide myself or guide others along the way, or like, let's be proactive about these questions and not wait till later on. And especially even when it comes to mental health, because sometimes I'm like, sheesh, why is my mom the way that she is? But at the same time, I'm like, wait, whoa, but she definitely went through, that's traumatic. Parenthood is freaking traumatic.
Yes. And people don't talk about it because, like, when you have your child, when you're holding them, like, okay, so this time around, like, when I saw Xiomara for the first time, I'm like, oh my God, like, but then I actually sat there and I was actually, like, I actually took this into consideration. I'm like, I'm meeting a new version of myself, too.
Absolutely.
Because the version of Nora with 2 kids is completely different than the version of Nora with 3 kids.
Absolutely.
And, like, when you first meet yourself becoming a mom the first time, that's a... Hi, how are you? Like,
I'm still like, I still look at myself in the mirror,
and you're just like, what? Like, how do I like fit this? This is a new body. This is a new, like, this is just my style, the way that I carry myself, like, and then you have the toxicity of social media that people are constantly portraying, like this perfect version of parenting,
or like keeping up.
Yeah. Yeah, and trying to get, like, I saw this one post of this one mom, like, someone left her a comment saying, your kid is so well behaved or whatever, like, why don't you show us when he has tantrums? Does he ever have tantrums? And she goes, her response, I was like, you know what, girl? I love this. She goes, well, I'm not going to sit there and put wave a camera in his face when he's having a tantrum because I'm tending to him.
I like that.
She's like, I'm not going to sit there and show you guys something. She's like, I guess I could try, but my number
That's
one thing
priority,
is to tend to him, to get to his level, to help him versus record him to show you guys that he has tantrums.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like right now everyone's trying to be so relatable on social media.
Yeah, but you don't need to go there. And there's like the page Big Little Feelings that I absolutely love. They touched on that. And I think someone said the same, like, especially that they're teaching parents or trying to guide parents into, you know, like, that gentle parenting, respectful parenting, and so on. Somebody did say that, like, oh, why don't you ever post your kids having, you know, their tantrums, or blah, blah, blah. But she was like, I don't need to expose my child.
Yeah.
And, like, doing those things to get my message across to my community.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I like that. Because at the end of the day, we are exposing them already. And it's just like, why show them in that light when it's not necessary?
Correct. Yeah.
You know, now if, like, and I'm kind of waiting for the day, even though I don't want it to happen. But Caleb bugging out at the supermarket. I remember that my one friend, she always used to post her son, and I don't know how old he is now, but I always loved it because she kind of had like her little series of supermarket trips for her son. And what she would do, you know, if he wants to throw himself on the floor, and she'll sit there and she'll record it, but it's like, you know, the kid wasn't also in danger, and that's another thing too.
Yeah.
You know, if he's flailing and he's about to freaking bump his head and break it and turns into something extra, then yeah, but I was just like, and then that reminded me now with Caleb and that he's starting his little tantrums. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, when are we going to get the supermarket thing? So then that's something that I actually look forward to recording and posting on socials, you know? But other than that, I don't need to, you know, expose them to that. Or like you said, and then going back to keeping, you know, having to keep up with being relatable. Like, I am, this is who I am, you know, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I post every day, sometimes I don't. You know, sometimes, like, I like to post when it just feels genuine.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is fun to remake, like, those reels, or in your case with TikTok. I'm not on TikTok yet. Maybe after this, I may be. Let's see.
Love it.
But it's also fun, like, kind of remaking those reels. Like, one of my favorite ones with Caleb is, like, chasing after him to get the diaper changed. It's like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, let's, you want to hear about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Like, that's epic, you know. And at the same time, how I view my Instagram account is an album.
Yeah.
Like, to look back, and maybe Caleb will enjoy looking back at those. You know, I wish that my mom had lived in this era, because I would love to see videos of me, like, doing shenanigans, or my mom's personality through her videos of me, and so on. But yeah, life. What is it? Losing yourself in motherhood. I would say losing your life and losing your life in motherhood.
But I feel like you lose yourself, but then you also find a new version of yourself.
I agree.
And I feel like that just needs to be celebrated more.
I agree.
Because it's like, you can mourn your life prior to having children, but at the end of the day, like, you have the what's the word I'm looking for? Like, now you have this beautiful, like, life that you're creating. And it's like, you know, like, you know, kids are hard. You know, toddlers are little terrors. Mm-hmm. But it's also fun.
It is.
And then when you have a village, which is very, very, very rare to find.
I agree.
You know, when you have a village that stands by you, that supports you, that checks you, you know, all that stuff, then that makes motherhood more, like, enjoyable, tolerable, stuff like that. Like, there are people doing it alone. Mm-hmm. You know, there are some people, like, you know, your friends, there's friends that are in a way different season. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm experiencing right now. Most of my friends that I've had prior are still in a different stage, different season, while I'm here with 3 kids later. Mm-hmm. Married, you know, like, doing, like, just, my road is different.
And even speaking on that, because I hear it a lot, and I've heard it even before becoming pregnant or while I was pregnant, like, oh, your relationships are going to shift with your friends and all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm also being mindful because, like, okay, maybe I guess like those postpartum hormones, you're like, oh, well, so and so hasn't come see my kid yet, that's not. But I was like, especially like, again, going through the pandemic and like that little shift in mindset, how you think, how you process things. It's like, well, I don't know what that friend is going through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, yes, we're in completely different seasons, but that doesn't mean that we can't have a conversation.
Facts.
And now if you can't, then that's for that relationship, for you to figure out how you're gonna continue that relationship or how you're gonna bring that relationship into this new chapter of your life. Because I have plenty of single friends or plenty of friends that don't have any children, and they have been showing up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, that's huge. Yeah. And I think it's definitely possible. It's just about, again, having the mindset and having the conversations. Because like maybe people say, hey, maybe Nora doesn't want to be visited, but maybe you do just during this time or communicate.
Yeah.
Communicate.
Yeah, seriously.
That's again, that's another episode because holy crap. But through this, we're also communicating, and what I love about our friendship is this. Like this is what we do.
Yeah.
Like
we literally
this is
and talk
chit chat. Like
all the time.
We've been literally chit chatting like for. I don't even know what time I got here. Definitely like noon, and it's like 4:00 by now. But yeah, and it doesn't, it feels.
It feels good to actually have someone that you can relate to, but also those who are not in the season with you, but like still show up. Like you kind of see it on their perspective too, and you're learning from each other because they will come and be like, "You need a break."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you need to come and you need to go out and you need to do this, or you need to just. Go on your solo Target trip.
Yep.
Like, get that Starbucks girl. Go get a facial.
And I'm a shout out Al Monte.
Okay.
I know.
She's
I was like,
mom.
for that, because you have definitely been a pillar in this freaking season. And let me not
don't
cry because
I love her.
Been very instrumental in all of this. And even though, you want to give me all these freaking hugs that I don't freaking want, but I'm becoming slowly more open to it. And also, respectfully, she always asks, too, like, do you need a hug? Or can I hug you? Because I was like, I don't know if I need it, but okay, fine, you can hug me. So she knows, I love you. I love you, girl.
And she, too, served, which I think is amazing.
Oh, yes, in the military.
Thank you for serving. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap up this episode of the Migas podcast, and stay tuned for next week's episode. Let's see which one we're gonna talk about next week.
Oh no, right? We have we're like planners, and I think that's why we're be on the same page with shit. Seriously. And we're extra with it. Right now in front of us, she has her color-coded calendar and a beautiful list of topics that we've been discussing literally for the past few months. So I'm glad this is happening.
This one.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
I like that. Because I actually need to book my next facial soon. So
perfect.
The next one
is going to be...
Go
ahead.
Self-care is not selfish.
So...
Absolutely. And then even like kind of tying back to the topic that we discussed, I remember while being pregnant, I told myself, and hopefully this helps anyone that's listening now and that is currently pregnant, going to give birth soon, to your first, especially, or even if it's your second, third, fourth, however many kids you want to have, just to remind yourself to put yourself first. I remember to myself in pregnancy, I was like, well, what does that mean for me? And I'm like, well, that's going to be, I still get my hair done. I was like, I'll be doing that because it actually is like, it's like a little, again, vacation, even before getting pregnant. It was always nice going to, absolutely, going to the hair salon, getting my nails done, pedicures, facials are huge for me, especially suffered from many skin problems in my teenage years, young adult, even in my early 30s. I mean, I'm 34 now, but like literally turning 30, still having breakouts and all this stuff. So I'm like, nope, gotta continue making that a priority. I still, knock on wood, been able to keep up with going once a month even after having Caleb.
Yeah.
And the same thing with nails and hair and everything else, working out too. That's a big part of who I am, and working out again releases those good what is it, hormones, chemicals in the brain. Yeah, I don't want to get too scientific. Serotonin, right? One of those onins, what it's So yeah.
But yeah, so join us next week. We're gonna talk about self-care is not selfish, and thank you again for tuning in
to the Migas podcast.
Bye guys.
Bye bye. Ciao ciao.